guys, Diane Anderson here from SkillSnacks. So welcome back. On this channel, we discuss many different things. We talk about men's health, women's health. We also talk about topics that are within healthcare, specifically around nursing. And as you see my other segments, my NCLEX sessions, I have a master's degree in education, so I also focus on teaching for people that are working on their AA degree, their BSN degree, and their master's degree. We do some of everything here on SkillSnacks. We also speak to the people in general, like I said, about their health. So my concern right now is I've been trying to kind of avoid talking about this, but it really someone needs to say something. I know a few nurses are. The stress and abuse in nursing. Okay, so as you guys, a lot of you may know, we had a 26-year-old commit suicide last year, and that was released to the public around March of 2022, even though it happened in January of 2022. And now we just recently had another young lady, 28 years old, nurse, that committed suicide a few months ago, but they're just letting everyone know about it this month. I'm not going to say names or facilities or any of that because I don't have permission to do that, so I can't discuss that. But what I will do is read part of the letter, and I can show the face because she is in the news already, but I will read part of the letter that was a concern to me, and I'm sure nursing throughout can relate. I don't care if you're a new nurse, you've only been a nurse for 1 year, or you've been a nurse like me over 20 years of nursing, okay? Over 20 years. And this is now I keep saying November. October 2023, okay? But I've been a nurse for way over 20 plus years. But this is a 28-year-old who called her abuser the hospital. And like I said, nurses can relate to this, unfortunately. Hospitals probably will not be happy about me discussing it, but I mean, really, guys, truth be told, it needs to be said. So what she says here is that, and I'm just going to read some of it. It says, "I do what I do. I thought that was enough. This would be all I needed to carry me through my career. I was told you guys would be there through the good and the bad." She's talking directly to the hospital administration. Okay? "But you have taken my heart and slowly crushed the goodness it had. You loved bomb me with affection, and you told me I was going into a career that matters. I could make a difference to just smile more and be friendlier to the patients. That's when I began to understand your true cruelty and manipulation. I remembered the first time I heard about nurses getting hit." We will discuss that because that happens all the time, okay? "I remember that you asked the nurses what did they do or didn't do to prevent it from happening. Don't protect yourself by fighting back, you said. Just lay with your hands over your head and wait until security comes. You created an environment of fear and blame in a place we already felt unsafe. You blamed us for things out of our control. You criminally charged my colleagues for things that happened as a direct result of your own actions. The law doesn't protect us, and neither do you. I no longer feel like you care about me or the people you say you serve. I sit at my front desk just waiting for someone to walk in off the street and shoot my patients and me. You do not care about keeping us protected. You haven't provided even the slightest amount of security to keep us safe. You use and exploit us to line your pockets with the common citizens' money for overpriced health care. You are a narcissist. I can see you for what you really are. You say you care, but you ignore us while we beg on our hands and knees. You tell us we do so much, that we put up with so much. But when we dare to think we are finally going to get the love and support we deserve, we get a pizza party or some free pens, etc. Okay, so let me shed some light on it for people who aren't in this business. Nurses, we've lived that, okay? And before I continue, I want to say, first of all, if the family is listening in from either the young man that committed suicide in January of 2022 or the young lady who recently committed suicide a few months ago, my condolences and my heart goes out to them. I'm so sorry for your loss. I'm so sorry that in this profession, and I can speak as a professor because I'm also have a master's in education, but I'm so sorry that none of us as instructors, especially in the past, because they didn't do it with me either, tell the students the truth about what they're going to kind of expect and see. It's happening more now. They're kind of telling students, not directly as bad as it can get. They give you kind of an overall spiel, and it's in a few of the chapters in some of the books that we read. But it really doesn't go in depth in terms of how much cruelty and how much pain that you endure every day. And with the young man that took his life last year, he was dealing with, he was a traveler, and he did the COVID assignment, so he would travel from state to state. And with COVID, because I lived through that too, I was right, even though I educate and teach, I'm still in the hospitals. Even right now, I'm still in the hospitals on the front line dealing with everything these nurses are dealing with as well, in addition to teaching on the side. Okay, so he's dealing with what we've all dealt with, multiple deaths. You're seeing people die left and right. And everyone processes death differently. And if you don't have that time to let down and just regroup and get your mental together that, oh my God, I just body bagged, because literally I'm not trying to be too graphic here. For some people, it's just too graphic. Please just turn the video off. But I'm just being honest without being too graphic. But when people die, it's the nurses that take the IVs out and the tubes out, clean the patient up, and so the family can view the body, and then literally put patients in the body bags or the morgue bags and bring them down to the morgue. We do all that. So that's a lot when someone's not even used to dealing with death. And then during COVID, oh my God, not only the people on the outside dealt with so much death, but we dealt with it, seeing it, hearing it, and then having to deal with the bodies afterwards. That was all on nursing. The doctor's not doing that. Respiratory therapy is not doing that. The lab technician's not doing that. We're doing it. The nurses are doing it. Okay? All that's on us to see and deal with, and listen to the families cry and scream, and all that's in your head. And you're trying to think about, is there anything better that I could have done to save this person's life, even though the doctors are saying, no, there's nothing you can do. And then still cleaning up the body after it's already, the soul has passed, and getting them cleaned up and all of that. That's a lot to process, and you're doing that day after day, year after year, month after month, decade after decade in my situation. And that's a lot. So if you already don't come from a strong background mentally, or you haven't really been through much in life, and this is your first experience with dealing with this kind of stuff in nursing, that's a lot. And especially if you don't have an outlet to release this pain, this anguish, this stress. And yes, they say, oh, we have this little program and you can call and make an appointment and talk to someone. But first of all, nurses barely have time to use the bathroom when they're there, take a lunch break, even though legally we're supposed to have a lunch break. Come on, I worked 13-hour shifts and didn't have a lunch break till I got home. And that's been multiple years. And multiple nurses is doing the same thing. We kind of just deal with it because it is what it is. It comes to our patient first, or do I eat? So I'd rather just starve to make sure my patient is okay, and tell them what to do, take care of themselves, but we don't take care of ourselves as nurses. I mean, it's just a reality. It's sad, but that's how it is. Yeah. And the shortage is so bad that get someone to cover you for lunch. Yeah, right. I mean, and you don't want to leave your patient uncovered, then something will happen, especially with people like me. I work in critical care. The guy that killed himself last year in January 2022, he worked in ICU as well. Critical care, oh my God, you could blink an eyelash and the patient is about to die. You don't want to leave your patient for anything. Cough the wrong way. Oh my God, something's about to happen. They're always kind of like a death's door because they're so critically ill, especially if you're dealing with trauma centers and things of that nature. So anyway, he didn't have time to process all this anguish and guilt, and I'll let you guys Google that and read all about that detail because I can't discuss with so much because I don't know what legally I'm allowed to discuss and what legally I'm not. So I'm just talking in general. But you need time to process it, and that was from what the article I read. He didn't have time to really process, and he took it all in and ended up taking his life. And now we have a young lady in her 20s as well that did the same thing. And when she wrote that letter to her abuser, quote, the hospital system, I hate to say it, guys, but she's right. I mean, we're told, you guys have no idea. Just me alone, I've been hit so many times, it's not even funny. Nurses get beat up on, we get cussed at, we get kicked, we get punched, we get our clothes pulled, all kinds of stuff. And this is on a regular, daily, weekly basis. You don't get paid anything extra for that in your check that you get abused on a regular. God forbid if you're also dealing with abuse in your house. I know I can speak to that, but I won't even go into that. That's a really bad marriage, okay? But I'm just saying, I have been through enough in my personal life, okay, and seen enough in the streets and things like that, that handling the hospital stuff wasn't so bad. Actually, that was an outlet for me. But for people who haven't really been there, done that, and haven't really going through nothing real serious at home or other areas of their life, this is a lot to come there and get beat up on and cussed at and all different kinds of things. But you're told, you can't legally, you can't hit the patient back. The patient smack you, hit you, punch you. You can't do nothing about that. Except for call security, and that's if you can safely get out of the room to do so. Or yell loud enough and hope that someone hears you, because sometimes you're trapped in the patient's room. So they'll teach you different kind of ways on how do you position yourself in the patient's room, how close are you to the door, different self-defense mechanisms to get you safely out the door, or at least until security gets there. But this is regular basis, and I'm not just talking about patients with dementia and Alzheimer's, because people who have family members with dementia and Alzheimer's, they know they're getting beat up and cussed out and all kinds of things right in their own house. But as nurses, we're getting, let's say you have 5 or 6 dementia patients, you're getting cussed out and beat up by a whole lot of people. Some of them are pleasantly confused, and a lot of them are worse when the sun goes down. We call them sundowners. When the sun drops, oh my God, they go from Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Whole different person. And you're getting cursed out and everything. And God forbid if they're also racist on top of that, you're getting called every kind of racist name that they was keeping in when they were with it a little bit more than when they sundown and they don't realize anything. They just free to just speak what they want to say. Call you everything in the book. And we're to just take it. And I know me, I've developed a tough skin over the years. So it's like, I look at it as, okay, that's the illness talking. I can't take that personally. I didn't do anything personally to this patient. This person is cussing everyone out, including the doctor. The difference is the doctor can walk away, and they do. The nurses got to stay bedside for that whole 12-hour shift, day after day. The most we can do is maybe change the assignments around so the next nurse doesn't get that same exact assignment the very next day to try to break it up a little bit. But nursing is a very dangerous career. I mean, for real. I mean, being a police is dangerous. Being military is dangerous. There's so many dangerous careers. But the police, they got guns and they have their, something to hit you over the head with. They got their spray. Nurses, we can't be shooting people, hitting people, and spraying people and all this kind of stuff, or pepper spray. We literally just take it. And it's rough. And a lot of people, like these 2 youngsters here, and I say youngsters, they're about my children's age. So they couldn't take it and end up taking their own lives instead. And you go to administration and ask for help. and they pretty much they don't even think about, oh, did you get hurt? I mean, they'll say it, but it's just the main concern is the patient hurt? Did you do anything to provoke the patient to curse you out and beat you up and throw their pee at you and all this other kind of nasty things that happens in this field? More so than the concern about the nurses. And she's right. A lot of times the gift for you sticking in there, and not quitting is, hey, we're going to throw a pizza party. Here's some donuts from Krispy Kremes that make you even fatter and more unhealthy as a nurse. Things of that nature that we shouldn't be even eating in the first place. Okay? So, yeah. So, I feel her pain, with the pain she had to have gone through. I understand what the guy's going through because I've lived it, done it every day. I've seen my coworkers go through it, and you don't want to make waves because you don't want to cause problems. At the same time, deep down in your heart, you feel that no one really cares, because the bottom line is, the patient's always right, even though they're calling you everything out your name, and if they're racist, it makes it even worse. And yeah, and there's nothing you can do about it but take it. Okay. And then what's crazy is some of these people they do not have Alzheimer's, they do not have dementia. They're just being straight up nasty people because they already have a nasty personality. And a lot of that's coming out. Think about it. When you're feeling sick and you're down, I want you to feel miserable too because they feel miserable. Okay? So misery enjoys that company. So they're feeling bad. They want you to feel bad. And a good way to make you try to feel bad is by treating you really like crap. And I try to factor that in too when I do my care. So, okay, this person feels bad, or she had this awful news about her kidneys, or just found out she's going to be on dialysis for the rest of her life, or all these horrible things. Oh my God, God forbid, they just found out they had cancer. I mean, these are major things. Does that give them the right to treat someone else like crap? No, but at the same time, I'm human, that person's human, and I can empathize that you just found this information out and you want someone to lash out on and yell at. In addition to God, who you've already yelled at, you also want to lash out at your doctor and lash out at your nurse and shoot the person that's giving you this information. And usually the nurses are the punching bags. Because again, the doctors show up and say, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, don't act this way. That's not right. And they walk away. But we're the ones that get beat up, cursed at, punched, stuff thrown at us. And this is a regular thing. I wasn't told any of this when I was in nursing school, okay, in college. But I've lived it. I had eye damage one time, all different kinds of things because of irate patients who were confused, and some that were just being just straight up mean because that's how they are normally, and they were being mean in the hospital system, no matter how kind you are or polite you are to them. So again, a lot of us can't take that, and unfortunately now nurses are taking their own lives because of this kind of stress and anguish that they're going through. So on the end of the video, I will put a link for patients and nurses and other coworkers and people in general who are feeling suicidal. And these are things I know that nurses already know, but I'm going to put the link anyway because if you're going through any of this right now, do so. Now, one thing you guys do have too that's a big help nowadays that they didn't have. I became a nurse in 1998, okay? Long time ago, okay, 20 plus years ago. And you do the math. So there was no social media and all this other, stuff out there. Facebook was still I don't even know if Facebook has started yet, maybe. Everything was really new. So we didn't have but so many outlets, okay, to go to besides your own family members. But if you have family who doesn't really care either, that doesn't really help you. I know for me personally, my outlet has been always believing that there's someone of higher power. Now, again, I don't want to get into religion because I know everyone feels differently about that. Some people believe that there is no God. I believe there is a God, and that's who I speak to and vent to when I'm going through something and ask for guidance. But others don't feel that way, and everyone is entitled to their opinion and their belief system, and everyone has been raised in a different way. I was kind of raised in a church system, so my mentality may be different than other people. So it's okay. To each his own. I don't want this segment to be about that. But you have to find some kind of outlet whether it's a group forum on a social media, a chat room, or a best friend, or using some of the services that hospitals are providing, or they give you links to at a discount, so you can talk to your own psychologic person, whether it's a psychiatrist or someone else, a counselor. So I just want to bring it to the attention of the public mostly, because nurses, honey, we already know this. We live it every day. But the public has no idea what we go through as nurses on a daily basis. And abuse is numero uno. I've actually put a bunch of questions in one of my NCLEX sessions that's discussing physical, psychological, emotional abuse. And I go into detail in that about the fact that when you go into work, a lot of times the abuser could just be the family member visiting the patient. You see the family member abusing the patient, you're trying to break that up. The patient abusing a nurse, abusing a doctor, abusing their visitor. Unfortunately, co-workers saying some things to other co-workers that's considered abuse or threatening. I've seen all that in my career, all of it, and had to be involved with some of it in terms of reporting it. And then when I was a supervisor and doing in management as well, had to be someone to kind of help, control that and find out what's going on and what is try to get the best outcome we can out of the situation, even if it means someone had to get fired or let go, or we had to move a patient to a more secure room, or we had to get security in with the family member who was visiting the patient because the family member was afraid of getting beat up by the by the patient that they were visiting. It's always something. But nursing is no joke, and that's why the burnout in this field is really high. Even I myself has had to take breaks from time to time. I'll say, let me take 3 months off or 2 months off, because when it's a lot, the mental just gets to you. It's just overpowering, and you have to know where your boundaries are. You have to set your boundaries and know what it is that you can handle and what you can't. So self-assessment is really important, to kind of like go in your own corner in your home or whatever and say, look, okay, I'm on this type of unit. This is the kind of stuff that happens. Should I go to a lighter type of unit? Should I switch my field, stay in my field, but should I switch to this, maybe switch to home care, or switch to the OR, or switch to the PACU, or should I do critical care? Should I be doing med surg? Should I be doing telemetry? Should I be doing psych? There's so many different fields you can go into in nursing. And sometimes a nurse has to just sit back and say, maybe I should do something different. And I can speak to this because on my resume, I've done, some of everything. Not because I'm trying to flee from one area to the other. It's mainly because I love to learn. So my whole experience of learning had me go from different, locations, from ER to ICU to PCU to med-surg to home care to OC Health, working for an energy company, etc. But in those experiences, I've noticed the levels of stress are different. There's stress in every job. Whether, I don't care if you work at McDonald's, if you're a doctor, if you're a nurse, if you work, if you're a trash man and you're collecting trash and dealing with all that, whatever your job is, if you're running a daycare, for God's sakes, it doesn't matter what your job is. There's major stress in every job, and it's pretty much about you looking at yourself and saying, what is it that I can handle? In different times of your life is going to be more stressful than others, because again, people could be going through other stuff in their personal lives. I've been there, done that, so I know what you mean by that. And hold on. So yeah. So again, I just wanted to shed some light on this fact that nurses go through a lot, and we've got to find better outlets to release what we're going through, or a lot more suicide is going to be happening, a lot more of us taking our own lives, or worse, there is no worse. A lot more of us taking our own lives, and in some cases, people are now bringing that to the forefront of their home, and they're taking out on their kids or taking out on their spouses and things like that. It's a rough job. I have daughters, and I have not even pushed them into this field, because me knowing them the way I do, I really don't think they could handle the stress that comes with this type of career. I could be wrong. But if they want to do it, great. But I'm not in any way pushing them because I know what I know because I've lived it. And they didn't tell me any of this stuff in school. If they had, more than likely, while I was in school, I would have changed my major to something else because it's that rough. And for what you get paid, for what you do, a lot of times it doesn't feel like it's even worth it, you know? Yeah, I saved a couple lives, but I almost had to get beat up to do so. And so she's right. Sometimes it feels like no one cares, especially administration, but they're making the money. But they're not the ones that's getting beat up and cursed at and threatened. They're not the ones that are dealing with death every day. You're taking all that emotional abuse and physical abuse, and it's stockpiling on each other. Because you're working day after day after day. And during COVID, we were working nonstop because of all the death and all the sickness in the world that was happening. And then, of course, a lot of doctors and nurses were getting sick too, and a lot of them died, you know, trying to save lives of others. And I know that's what we signed up for. That's what kept me going. I kept saying, hey, if I die, I die. I mean, this is what I signed up for. The military, they put their lives on the line. The police people, the fire department, everyone, a lot of people put their lives on the line for their jobs to save others, and nursing is no different. So when COVID hit, I'm like, hey, this is like military calling. This is me now. I have to put myself on the line, and so do other nurses. I mean, some nurses said, no way, I'm not doing it, and rolled out. Either quit or took a different role or did something that had nothing to do with touching COVID patients. But a lot of us, we stuck in there, and I figured, okay, if it's my time, it's my time. And if I die, at least God knows I die trying to help another person, trying to help another one of his children. Because the way I look at it, again, I'm religious and I believe in God, so I look at it as I'm helping another one of God's children. And the world doesn't center around me. I'm just, you know, someone on the planet to help others. I really, truly believe that's what I was put here for. And that's what I do to the best of my ability. So again, my heart goes out to the family of this young lady and the young man. And I'm pretty sure there's probably more people that we don't even know about this is happening to. But I just want to bring some attention to the public about what really goes on in nursing, guys. You have no idea. Oh my God. And the nurses, you've been there, done that, you live it every day, so this is not new for you. But we do have to find, as nurses and other healthcare providers, better ways to express our pain and release it in some way, whether it's meditation or prayer or exercising more, maybe walking more, doing deep breathing exercises, some kind of yoga, getting whether it's a prayer partner or just someone you just talk to in general, if you're not about prayer but just need someone to vent to. And we have to find other outlets, because if we don't, this can be the result for a lot of us, is taking our own lives, which isn't solving anything, because the hospitals are going to keep making the big bucks, and this is still going to keep happening, you know, nurse after nurse. Nothing seems to change. It's very sad. But I wanted to just bring that to your attention. And again, at the end of this video, I will put information and phone number and so you guys know who to reach out to if you are feeling suicidal or feeling stressed and you just need to vent and discuss it with someone so this can not happen to you. And to all my nurses out there who are still with us, you know, try to stay strong. And also find other outlets in terms of financial outlets. Because a lot of us stay in this field too because this is all we know. This is what we know. And a lot of times you may be ready to retire or leave and you're like, okay, well, look at all these bills and all this stuff I have to pay for. And what other job am I going to get right this minute to replace this particular job? So I really am pushing too for you nurses out there. Go into other avenues. I mean, do some other things. Because nursing is a linear income. You work, you get paid. You work, you get paid. It's not a residual income. Okay? or the other, all the other sources of incomes that's out there. It's just strictly linear. If you don't work, you don't get paid. You have to work to get paid. Okay. So do other things too. If you can, you have the opportunity to do a little real estate on the side. Do some other hobby that you enjoy that is bringing in money, that can bring in money. Find other outlets that you like and you would literally just do for free, and then just research that. I mean, you have the internet nowadays, something I didn't have a long time ago, and research, what kind of things you can do to make it more lucrative, a hobby that you really like doing, and get involved with that on the side. So if that day does come and you're like, you know what, enough's enough, I've had it, I'm sick of getting beat up, cussed at in all different kinds of ways, and I don't feel that management is supporting me or administration is supporting me, or whatever the issue may be at your job, or you're sick of jumping hospital to hospital, because that could be the case, and you've tried different places, then you might want to also, like I said, look into some other financial sources of income, preferably things that are a lot less stressful and things that you actually like doing, in addition to nursing. So you can start phasing nursing out and going into something else. Okay. So yeah, I'm probably going to get a lot of backlash from what I've been saying, but I have to be honest. I got to tell the truth, guys. We can't keep sugarcoating the truth. In sugarcoating the truth, we've lost 2 more souls that could still be living today because they didn't know that this is nursing every day. It's rough. It's a battlefield every day. Okay? So, I hope this helps someone today. And if you want me to discuss more, if you want to reach out to me for any other advice, or just have something you want to talk about, or if you truly don't have a mom or dad, a best friend, someone to reach out to and talk to, feel free. Go ahead, use my email. It's admin@skillsnacks.org. And I will respond. I mean, hopefully it won't be hundreds and hundreds of people, because I only have so much time in a day myself, but I'd rather be someone there to be there for you, even if it's just to email you back a note or whatever, some positivity, some words of positivity, just to help you to get through and try to find a solution. I also have a video that I did with a young lady named Cecilia Livingston, and it was talking about overcoming burnout. I will link that video to the end of this video for anyone who really is going through stress on their jobs and they feel like they're burning out, they don't know what to do, and oh my God, I can't take it anymore. She is a life coach, has a master's degree in life coaching, and she was awesome, and we did a whole segment, and I really believe that would help you as well. So I would say take a listen to that as well before reaching out even to me directly by email. Take a listen to that, because that may be the answers that you need in that video. But again, I hope this helps someone today. And again, my heart goes out to the families who lost their beautiful daughter, the 28-year-old, and this handsome 26-year-old male nurse, who were gifted people who knew what they were doing, but they felt that, they didn't have the support that they needed from administration in the hospital, and just the mental support. Okay, guys, so take care, and I will talk to you again soon about health in general, or other topics in nursing and healthcare and things that are going on right now. Have a good day, guys. Bye-bye.